How's it going, everyone? I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMoviescreens.com, and I got another movie to review for you guys, and that would be The Only Living Boy in New York. Now, I wasn't really looking forward to this movie. The trailer didn't really do anything for me. It looked like a very soapy Lifetime drama, but the only reason I wanted to go see this is because of the director, Mark Webb. Mark Webb has directed one of my favorite romantic comedies in the past, I don't know, like 20 years? 500 Days of Summer. It's a wonderful little film that has one of the most realistic kind of gut punch endings where I'm just like, huh, yeah, that happens in real life sometimes. So I adore Mark Webb for that. The Amazing Spider-Man was fine. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was awful. One of the worst comic book movies I've ever seen. Now, he had another movie come out earlier this year called Gifted, which I did not see, but apparently that guy driving out there did, and I heard it was okay, it was fine, it was enjoyable, but it wasn't like any of that 500 Days of Summer quality. So I'm waiting for like that next one that just like bursts through the roof and it's just like, I'm just like 500 Days of Summer in quality. And I'm like, yeah, I'm with you on that. But for this one, I am not with them on that. This is one of the worst movies I've seen this year. It is unbearable. Now, before I begin and tear this movie a new one, I understand because some of the people that may have worked on this movie are watching this review. Maybe some of the actors. Maybe Mark Webb himself. How's it going, Mr. Webb? I love 500 Days of Summer. I get that making movies is hard. And you pour your passion into it. And then sometimes when the final product comes out, you're like, man, I did all that hard work for this? I get that. It's not easy to make a movie. So I'm not bashing anyone that worked on this film and all the passion they put into it. I'm mainly going to go after Mark Webb and the writer Alan Loeb because those two culprits are the reason why this movie is terrible. So let's get real and break this down. Within the first opening scene, we have this crudely drawn, stick figure animation. It's not stick figure, but it's borderline like 4th grade, like doodles in a notebook of Jeff Bridges explaining what New York is like and the segregation and whatnot. I'm like, am I watching Detroit early or like what am I watching? And so that felt pretentious as hell. It felt out of place. And then when we jump into the first live action scene, we have the main character who's, I guess, on a date with someone, and he's unbearable. He is annoying. He's like me when I'm drunk. And I'm like, oh man, no girl likes me, man. No girl likes me. And then when someone, when someone sleeps with him, he's like, I love you. We've only been together once, but I love you. I can't stand hopeless romantics like that in film. Because I have myself have been like that in the past. Where I've been like super annoying and like super clingy. That's what this guy is. I do not want to follow this guy. So right off the bat, you're telling me like, oh, we're going to go ahead and like this guy. We're going to follow him. Okay, fam? He's the main character. No. No. Bad movie. So that's already strike number one. And then the story kind of progresses along and, he meets Jeff Bridges. And then, he's having girl trouble, so he has to like tell Jeff Bridges everything. And then he sees that his father, played by Pierce Brosnan, is with another woman, Kate Beckinsale. He goes to Jeff Bridges about it. And this is all in the trailer, by the way, so I'm not spoiling anything. I'm only going to say one more thing, and I'll stop talking about the plot, and I'll really dive into it. He sees that his father is cheating on his mother. He tells Jeff Bridges about it, and Jeff Bridges is like, you should go after that woman. Sexually. Like with his penis. So that's my first thought. When I see my dad sleeping with a mistress, I'm going to go after that mistress and try to bang her. Do you see where the problem lies? Don't worry, that's just the tip of the iceberg, and that's all I'm going to say because that's what the trailer gives away. All the like little nooks and crannies and surprises and stuff make the movie even worse. But I'm not going to spoil it because I had class. Maybe when I'm not inferior like this, maybe it doesn't seem like I'm classy, but I don't like to spoil anything for you guys just in case if you want to see it. But that was the trailer and like the kind of basis of the plot. And then, of course, a love triangle ensues between father, son, and mistress. gross. So with the opening scene being as pretentious as it is, and the main character being annoying, I was like, oh wow, could this get any worse? Yeah, it gets worse. The main character becomes so unbearable, I actually preferred him at the beginning of the movie than I do at the end of the movie. He becomes this cocky a-hole that you aren't even behind at all. All the characters around him are also borderline terrible people, and you don't care about them. There's no like backstory to them. There's no emotional weight to them. They're just these empty vessels just being played out in front of us for this really soapy, cheesy, Lifetime-esque drama that when the end of the movie happened, I was like, wow, that was your twist? And then when you're like, okay, and then you start replaying the movie back in your head and you're like, wow, people are enabling people to do some pretty immoral things. What is wrong with this universe? So the writing is atrocious, and the story is just, it's not engaging whatsoever. It's a little flat, even with the grossness of that love triangle. And then at the very end, it just questions everything about everyone's, character in terms of their morality. All the characters are just, they're just not likable at all. I don't mind watching a movie with like terrible characters that you have to follow, but there's got to be somewhat like some redemption. I didn't care about anyone. Everyone was just like a miserable drag throughout the entire film. And even with the girl that he was seeing at the beginning of the movie, yeah, she gets super annoying too, to a point where I've met women like that. And I'm like, wow, this writer's bringing out the worst in people. How are we supposed to care about anything? So there's that. Let's go to the directing. Sure, why not? So not only is the script is atrocious, and Mark Webb does the best he can with it, there is also this weird-ass tonal clashing that Mark Webb decides to just put in front of us and just like, enjoy. So we're dealing with this story, which deals with a father and son and mistress love triangle, which sounds like a sexy thriller, I guess. But the music and the overall tone of the film makes it seem like it's this whimsical romantic comedy that we're supposed to enjoy. The music is so just, I don't know, like soft and upbeat and kind of whimsical. It's almost like Mark Webb is like, yeah, here's this weirdo fantasy with like this like really like harmonious music. Yeah, you like that? And it's like, no, because the story does not mesh well with the music. So you're having these like clashing like tones going up against each other. The music makes it seem like it's some romance movie from the 50s. And then we have the story, which is like pretty effed up and doesn't even resemble a romantic comedy. Like I said, it's more like it's almost like a Paul Verhoeven decided to direct the movie. It's just, no. And on top of all that, everything's flat and bland. Mark Webb does nothing with the cinematography. New York is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Yet it's shot like a made-for-TV movie. The cinematography is not good at all. This movie's an hour and a half long, and it feels like 4 hours. So the pace of this thing just drags. Because once the movie starts, you're already annoyed. So if that doesn't bring up, any positivity throughout the movie, then you're just gonna hate it throughout the entire thing. I don't understand when movies like this are made. I really don't. Like, because I understand that the writer was trying to do something with like some philosophy and something cool to say, and just, yeah, it's like, no, you think you're cool and you think you're saying something prominent and outstanding, and just it's not. It just comes across. First of all, like I said, I hate using the P word, pretentious, but you're presenting us with characters that are so unbearable to follow. How the hell am I supposed to care about anything? There's a moment in the movie where Kate Beckinsale's character says something very quick about her backstory. She's like, oh yeah, this happened, and let's get back to boning. It's like, that's your justification for building character and saying this is why she's messed up and sleeping with a father and son, which why would you do that? And I know I keep saying father and son. I'm not revealing any of the spoilers in the movie, but even when the end of the movie happens, It's still gross. I don't care if you justify and go, well, this is actually what's happening. I'm like, I don't give a crap. It's still gross as hell. So I didn't like anything out of this movie. The only redeeming factor I would say is the acting is fine. Everyone's playing their roles fine. Jeff Bridges is likable. Kate Beckinsale is very talented and very attractive and nice to look at. Pierce Brosnan, cool. I guess seeing him in another movie is cool, I guess. Everyone was fine. That's about it. And I think the worst part is like when the movie ended and it played the Only Living Boy in New York like song or whatever with the title in it, and all the little like old little grannies in front of me were like, yeah, that was a great movie, guys. Did you say the title of the film? That was really great. That was really great. That's who this plays to. It plays to a senior citizen crowd. For me, being 27, this movie was unwatchable. I don't want to ever speak about it again. It is terrible. No thank you. I'm giving The Only Living Boy in New York a solid, big, fat D. Not going to give it an F because I realized that the actors were trying. Because if the actors didn't give a crap and they were just kind of phoning it in, I would have given this movie a straight up F. But you know what? Everyone was trying. I just did not care for it. So there you go. Well, I'm going to go have a heart attack now, but what did you guys think about this movie, or have you even heard of it? Comment in the place around my face and let me know. And as always, guys, I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMoviescreens.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next or rant about. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.